Welcome back to Taekook Whispers, a space where small glances, gentle smiles, and the quiet presence between Taehyung and Jungkook whisper more than 1,000 words. This is not about grand moments that steal the spotlight. It's about details that are almost silent, yet felt so deeply. About the way they look at each other as if the rest of the world momentarily stops. About an intimacy that is never put on display, yet is unmistakably real to anyone willing to pay attention with an open heart. In a world filled with noise, Taekook arrives in calm, and it is precisely there that their beauty is felt most strongly. If you have ever longed for something sincere, warm, and genuine, stay here, because this whisper may be what you've been waiting for all along. Taekook is beautiful, not in a loud or excessive way, but in a silence filled with meaning. A beauty that doesn't demand to be understood, yet feels unmistakably clear to anyone who truly looks. What they share feels like a gift that arrives exactly when it is needed most, as if the universe knows that many hearts are waiting for something real, something sincere. This isn't just a special moment that passes by. It is a complete feeling that lingers in the air, slowly seeps in, and stays in the heart for a long time. The connection between Taehyung and Jungkook feels undeniably real, minute by minute. It shows in the way they look at each other, unhurried gazes, filled with familiarity, as if saying, "I know you." It lives in the way they listen to one another, not only with their ears, but with full attention. And it radiates clearly through the calm that appears when they are together. A calm that isn't forced, isn't performed, it simply exists. There was a time when many people doubted them. When their togetherness wasn't always visible. When packed schedules, big commitments, and distance seemed to pull them in different directions. When small moments no longer appeared consistently in public, some began to question, others began to doubt. But time, as it always does, slowly proved everything. What binds Taehyung and Jungkook never truly disappeared. It simply stayed quiet, endured, and waited for the right moment to be seen again. Today, that bond feels stronger, deeper, more solid, not because they want to show it, but because it has grown and taken root. The latest live broadcast became undeniable proof, not through grand statements or explicit confessions, but through the smallest, most honest things. Effortless teasing, soft voices filled with familiarity, laughter shared without distance, and little gestures only they understand. All of it made everything feel intimate and real. Within that space, even Jin became part of the dynamic, present with a light and playful perspective, like someone watching something he knows very well. The way he joked and responded to their interactions seemed to affirm that this closeness is nothing new, nothing unfamiliar. The energy felt so natural that, at times, it was like peeking into an ordinary night in Taekook's life, a night where everything flows without pressure, without roles to play. When Taehyung mentioned more than once that he would sleep next to Jungkook, it wasn't an empty statement. It carried trust, habit, and a closeness that has become part of everyday life. The words were spoken with the calm of someone talking about their safest place. And when Jin joked about sleeping together, their reactions were instant, quick, spontaneous, and perfectly in sync. Both of them disagreed. No hesitation. No confusion. That refusal alone spoke volumes, without the need for explanation. Phrases like, "your bed, your home, my home," delivered a very clear message to anyone willing to listen with an open heart. They share more than just public moments. They share space, routines, and a life that feels like a shared experience. And it is precisely this naturalness that resonates most, because this isn't about grand symbols, but about everyday gestures born from real togetherness. Seeing them like this, happy, relaxed, and so close, awakens emotions that are difficult to put into simple words. There is a warmth that comforts, a calm that soothes, and the feeling of witnessing something genuine. For those who waited patiently, this reunion feels incredibly special, like a reward for love that never faded, for trust that was preserved even when everything unfolded in silence. Taekook returns with the same essence as before, but now with a maturity that is clearly felt. In a world that often feels fake and rushed, Taehyung and Jungkook show another side of love. Love built on time, respect, and loyalty. They don't need to prove anything through grand speeches or exaggerated gestures. Their love exists in the details, in the way they protect each other, and in the choice to keep choosing one another, again and again quietly. This live broadcast leaves an impression that doesn't fade when the screen goes dark, because this isn't just about seeing them together, but about everything they conveyed through that calm. From the beginning, Taehyung looked comfortable, relaxed, and connected, like someone who is exactly where he belongs, with the right person. Their expressions are sincere. Their smiles are gentle. Their gazes are filled with an intimacy that needs no explanation. Jungkook watches Taehyung with unwavering focus, without distraction, without pause. His eyes reflect care and tenderness that feel undeniably real. Taehyung returns it with a calm smile and an aura of safety, as if he is in a space where he can fully be himself. Their relationship hasn't lost its glow over time. Instead, what emerges is a connection that is stronger, steadier, and deeper, the result of growing together. Teasing appears through simple gestures, soft tones, and meaningful looks. They don't need to exaggerate anything, because the closeness is already clear. In some moments, the world seems to fade into the background. The camera, the surroundings, and all the noise become insignificant compared to the small world they create together. The atmosphere feels intimate, calm, and honest. Viewers can feel that this is real, not created to be seen, but existing naturally on its own. Their care is visible in every small detail. The way they move closer without rushing. Gentle gestures filled with concern. Jungkook receives it all with the calm of someone who feels safe and valued. Everything flows naturally, speaking of trust, affection, and a relationship built on mutual respect. And that feeling stays, settling in slowly, leaving behind a warmth that lingers long after the broadcast ends. Taekook is not just an idea. They are a presence, a connection that lives, grows, and continues on, quiet, sincere, and full of meaning. When the screen finally fades, the feeling doesn't leave with it. The silence they leave behind remains, warm, gentle, and meaningful. Taekook is not about proving anything to the world. They are about choosing, again and again, in silence. About comfort that grows from time, trust, and real togetherness. Thank you for listening to this whisper with us. If you felt the same warmth, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so more hearts can feel it too. Until we meet again in the next story at Taekook Whispers. Because as long as they continue walking together, we will always be here, listening, feeling, and celebrating every small whisper that means everything.